Hey everybody, this is Emerald Stars on the Aura Fury Vintage Story server. Let's have some fun. Hi everybody and welcome to the Aura Fury Vintage Story server. I was invited to join this server last night and so I got on and decided to check it out. And when I first spawned into the server, it was right before a heavy temporal storm, and so I spent maybe 3 seconds looking at the spawn area before having to log off for the night, but it looks like a pretty cool place. I haven't really gotten to know many of the other players yet, and I've never been on a vintage story server before, so I don't understand all of the commands and everything like that. Like in Minecraft, if you hit tab, all of your people will show up who are on the server, and I can't really figure out how to get it put on here. I know there are people on because I can see them in chat every once in a while, but I don't know who is on so when I get on and I haven't checked if there's anybody else on yet, then I just feel like I'm talking to a void if I type something in chat. So that's kind of interesting. And yeah, I started to kind of set up camp here on the top of this mountain because drifters can't really get me up here. Their pathfinding AI doesn't, I don't know. They haven't gotten me yet in the days that I've been on this server so far. And I used to have a campfire, and these wood fences are not mine. I don't know who came and got rid of my campfire and put the fences up, but they also took a not a cracked vessel, a storage vessel that I had made that was cooking on the fire, so that's not the greatest. And I've got this one storage vessel already, and so I'm gonna have to make another one. And that's probably what I'm going to be spending my time doing. I haven't seen any surface deposits of any copper yet, so I'm probably going to end up having to pan for copper, which is going to be very, very tedious, but I think that's what I'm going to have to do to get my starting copper here in the beginning, just to get things going. And I have also, it's winter in this playthrough. It's October, so everything's really cold, and I'm very concerned that I'm not going to be able to have many crops. There's some crops growing over there. I'm going to go ahead and grab those. But yeah, I'm concerned that I'm not going to be able to have too much that's going to be able to grow. And I'm probably going to starve to death a couple of times this winter. So that's going to be fun. And I haven't gotten really anything started yet, so I think this will be a fun time. I think I will still do my single player videos as well and kind of work on both of them and see where they take me, just because it's a totally different format to be alone and versus playing with other players. So that should be interesting. I am looking forward to meeting some of the other people. There are on this server, so Ashantin, she's on this server too, and so that's really neat. And Nathan Wastrel, I think that's how you pronounce the name. But yeah, I found his YouTube channel before I even started Vintage Story. It was one of the modded Minecraft. I can't remember which mod pack it was, but I played a lot of modded Minecraft before I found Vintage Story, and that's actually how I found Nathan's channel, and so I knew of him before I started playing this game. And so him and Ashantin, I've watched their videos for Vintage Story when I was very first starting out to figure out how on earth I play this game, because I mean, yes, it has some similarities in look in that it has all these cubic blocks like Minecraft, but honestly, it's it's a completely different game. There's a whole different focus and skill set required for this game that I hope I will be able to survive, because I'm not a super hardcore gamer. I just kind of like the fun of it. So we'll see how I do in Vintage Story. And so I'm going to, I don't know, probably go and get some dirt or sand or gravel or something I can use to pan with. Can I actually, what is a pan? A wooden pan. Okay, yeah, I can make one of those with what I have. And of course it's getting dark, and night times as of right now are very they're not exciting for my playthrough right now. So I will see you guys in the morning. Being on a multiplayer server, and I've been on it for a little bit now, and I've kind of got a little bit of a base established, so to speak. I've got a place to live, but it's nothing fancy just yet. And mostly I am just spending my time starving to death. That's what I'm doing right now, running back to my base after having starved to death overnight. So I'm gonna head back to my little hill over here. And one of the players, Ralis, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name, has offered to bring me a temporal gear, and that is so fantastic, because now anytime I die I won't have to worry about having to respawn back at the spawn point. I can just spawn back to my house, and I need to think really hard about where exactly I want that to be. I have this little house here, and or camp, I suppose. It's not really a house. And I was thinking of building over in that crevasse over there, but I can't really, I don't know, it's not very inspiring for me. I don't really have an idea of what I want to do and where I want to go with that. So I'm going to probably find somewhere out in here to build. And I have a couple neighbors. Let's see. So here I am right here. And here is Emspara. At least I'm sure that I think that's who it is. I only know because that's what name came up on the chunk protection when I tried to take some berries from the berry bush because I was starving. And then over here, Dower. Again, I don't know if that's actually who lives there, because I haven't really met anyone on this server yet. Just that's whose name came up. And there's a couple other places. This looks kind of inhabited. I haven't been there yet. And then obviously this right here looks fantastic, and I need to go see it someday. But for the time being, I'm just kind of trying to get started. And since it is winter, I'm gonna have a really hard time with starving to death, like I just did on my way here, which is why I had to come back from spawn. So I am going to kind of scout out an area and kind of decide where I want to build at, and then maybe take some, did I leave any of my stuff here? There it is. Take some dirt and kind of mock out some corners or something, just so that I have an idea. So once I get that temporal gear, I will know exactly where to use it at, instead of using it up on that little mountain there. I am rather partial to this spot, though. I wonder if I just get rid of this mountain and build a tower here, because right now this is a good spot. The drifters can't, or haven't yet, come up and gotten me. And so I'm thinking I might just live here and use my gear here, or kind of over there, so that I'm outside, and then set up my area. And eventually I will excavate out this mountain here and build a tower around it, on it, under it, something like that. And Yeah, I'm feeling a lot more inspired about that. I was kind of having a bit of a bummed out moment. I was wondering if I was going to stick with this server or not. And I think I'll give it a shot. Try and see if it'll be more fun. Because as of right now, it's mostly just starving to death repeatedly. So I hope to get a better start, or at least figure something out so I can become more established. Since right now I'm kind of just drifting around trying to figure out where I belong on this server. So I'm going to go and find some gravel or silt or sand, there we go, to start panning to get my copper, since I haven't seen a single surface deposit since starting the server. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back. So my hope has been restored that I just might actually make it through this winter. Thanks to this lovely saint of a person, Raylus, I have a temporal gear and several different kinds of crops, and I think there was a pick in the care package. He brought me a whole chest full of goodies that'll just make starting out a whole lot easier than it was. And currently we are on the way to their base so that I can have a house that's kind of a little bit farther away from spawn, because where I was pretty picked over as far as all the resources were taken, and there wasn't a whole lot left for me to find anything for getting any kind of advancement. So I am going to be moving down south, where I will be able to have a much better chance of just getting more established and actually having fun on this server, because I was starting to kind of be a little concerned that this might not be what I wanted to play. But now that I have a little bit more hope and a little bit more stuff, I think I will be able to survive this playthrough. So I'm gonna follow them to their base, and I will see you guys in a minute. Well, here I am at Raylus' base, and of course, because my timing on this server seems to be just so fantastic, there is a temporal storm on its way. So I was planning on going out and trying to find somewhere that I really wanted to call home. I'm loving this area down here in the south a lot more than the area that I had up north, because there's medium fertility soil, there's a lot more trees, and it hasn't been completely picked over by everybody else for the last... Actually, I'm not entirely sure how long this server has been active, but for as long as that's been going on, people have been ravaging the areas up north, so I am not going to have a ton of luck trying to find anywhere fertile and with anything to mine up there. So I am so glad that I have decided to come down south with Raylus. And is it getting dark now too? Not quite. So I'm just going to run around the topography around here. I mean, there's quite a few hills and mountains, which isn't super fun to try and traverse, but I am hopeful that I will find a place to call my own and somewhere that I will just really love, because it's not fun to play in a place where you're not inspired and if you don't feel like building, because that's what usually happens if that happens, you usually end up, or at least I do, just abandoning those projects because they're not fulfilling and inspiring and fun and whatnot. So I am certainly glad to be in an area that I like a little better. Here, I'm actually going to, let's see what, shift and right click. There we go. And shift and right click. And there's a sword in here. Oh my gosh, it's iron? I didn't even look at this. That is fantastic. Iron long blade and an iron pickaxe. I can't thank Rayless enough. This is just the best gift I could have been given for my sad start here on this server. Yeah, that's gonna make things so much nicer going forward. I'm gonna have to toss that. Sorry. I'll pick you up in a second. Okay, and then shift right click to put on my back. I do like that we can do that. I'm pretty sure it's a mod that's on this server, because you can't, I don't think you can do that in the vanilla game. Okay. Yeah, the storm is approaching, is imminent, and so I'm going to have to pillar up here soon on a 2-block high at least pillar so that I don't get ganked by the drifters that are going to start spawning. Oh crap. Oh crap. That was a bad life choice. Fork. Okay. Come on. Go. 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 Yeah, I'm gonna just hang out here and I will see you guys when this storm is done. Because oh my gosh, look at the terrain. It's like a fun house mirror. Although not so fun when these guys are trying to murder you. Chat's all messed up. I've never been on a server with, well, obviously with other people, but while there's a storm going on and it messes up the words, the chat, it makes it go all wonky and symbols and stuff and you can't hear it or can't read what it's saying. Oh, I gotta go. The temporal storm is over, but it is of course nighttime, so now that I have a sword, I am a lot less scared of walking around at night. So I am going to try and find where I want to call home. I kind of like this place here to the south. It's just south of Rayless's base. I really like this island here. So, and there's a trader's caravan right there as well. So I'm going to start heading in that direction and kind of see if I want to make that my home. And hopefully I will get a little bit of time in the sunshine where I can actually see it. So far my playthrough there haven't been a whole lot of days since I don't have a whole lot of time to be on the computer at the moment. I have to keep jumping off at a moment's notice, and so I haven't actually had a whole ton of days on this server just because that's how it's been. So I have seen a lot of black screen today, but I think it's getting better. I am liking this place. I'm liking the soil. I like being here in the more southern climate. It's not tropical by any means, but it is definitely not the frigid cold north where I had spawned and have zero experience with. So I'm a little concerned about going into this forest at night, to be honest. I might come back in the morning. I think I've done it. I think I have finally found my home sweet home place. I just need to go in here and kind of terraform a little bit so I can start putting a house in. I'm really liking the birch, and there's andesite in here. I mean, there's a thin layer of granite, but I don't think I want to build with granite. I want to build with this andesite in here. It's kind of a pretty blue color, and I think it'll go really well with the birch that's here. So I'm looking forward to getting started in this area and having fun with this playthrough. So I'm gonna start figuring out exactly where I want to build and do a little terraforming to make it possible. Well, I've got an area kind of flattened out, and this is probably where my house is going to go. And I just need to get to work quarrying to get some of that, was it andesite, I think? Yeah, to build my house here. And before it gets dark here, I just wanted to show you guys what I've got going on here. I managed to get a garden area kind of set up so that I will be able to start growing some crops. It's not super cold at the moment in this area, and so I might be able to grow some cold weather hardy things like the turnips. So I am looking forward to having some actual food grow, and hopefully I'll be able to start making meals soon. I had some meat in my inventory when I logged off last night, and so it expired in my inventory, so I had just a bunch of rot, and that was very disappointing because now I won't be able to put any meat in any of my stews. But hopefully this garden will start to bring me rabbits. Oh, see that? I'm hungry. I've got to go eat. But I wanted to finish that really quick, so plug up that hole. So now we have ourselves a rabbit trap as well as a garden, or it will be a trap as soon as I put in the crops to make it something the rabbits want to get to. And I'm still gratefully using these stores provided to me by Rayless, and I really like this area that I'm in, so I am very happy and hopeful for this playthrough. And I think I'm gonna wrap up this episode and so I will see you guys in the next one.